If you thought that The Geek was the only adult film from the 70s to star a man in an ape suit, you would be wrong. I mean, it's still weird that there's more than one of these movies, but it was the 70s. Things were different.
Cocainum.
And unlike The Geek, this one from the get-go gets silly. Okay, it starts from the get-go with a man dressed as a gorilla getting some sloppy toppy. But before I get too deep into monkeying around, I gotta feed my addiction to buying these types of movies. So this is my first video recording barefoot, so here you go. And if you want to see it uncensored, go on my Patreon right now. I think that was my best Patreon plug ever. I'm gonna get 1,000 members tomorrow. So today's film is Jungle Blue. If you're on YouTube, you're not seeing this cover because it's really naughty. And it's an adult film from 1978 from the minds of Carlos Tobalina. I don't know who that is, I've never seen any other films from the guy, but if they're anything like this one, I don't want to. I'm good. I was kind of expecting like a build-up for that scene, but no, movie's just like, hey, you wanted to see a man in a gorilla suit? Here you go. And then it just turns into a Mondo movie. And this film was actually shot in the jungles of Peru and Colombia. So this is 1 point for this one and not The Geek, since this wasn't shot in Oregon. Thank God. Everybody's just looking at them like, oh, are they filming a big movie? A big motion picture for Hollywood? Nope. They're filming Jungle Blue. So right after the credits, this film doesn't waste any time showing us the goods, but this time it's between human beings, which is a novel concept for this movie. Are they doing drugs? This is not the Catholic film I was expecting. And we see this group of what I assume are college students, even though they look like they're in their 30s and 40s, looking for new experiences in Peru. So the group is with this Peruvian girl and this Peruvian guy, and they're taking drugs. And I have to say, YouTube, don't demonetize this video because I'm hardly against drugs. This is a godly channel. Anyways, after they take the drugs, they have sex. As a group. That's clearly not a real gorilla, come on. And one of the first things that made me laugh about this film is that everybody in the group is having fun other than the Peruvian man, who is just this scrawny guy with long hair, and he's kind of just in the corner looking at everything around him, kind of speechless, while he's playing with himself for about most of the movie. I assume they'll be very soft throughout this film because they look like they're on some drugs. I feel bad for the guy from Peru. He's just looking at his soft little thing, just playing with it. He looks genuinely very sad. Oh, this is bullying. This is not nice. And it's over. Already? We didn't even get to see the Peruvian guy do anything. And then one of the characters mentions that they have a girl especially for him, which kind of just seems like bullying. Why are they leaving him out of the fun? But eventually, don't worry people, he'll have what he's there for. It just takes like half the movie's running time. Because yes, this scene is constantly cut back to throughout the entire 78-minute running time. Oh, is he finally getting some? Let's go! Finally. Come. Sometimes, it's completely tonally inappropriate. By that I mean, most of the times. Christ, lady, she sounds like she might have some, delayed chromosomes. Anyways, after we see a little bit of fun between a group of friends, we meet our main character, who's this blonde girl with this other blonde girl and this blonde guy with mutton chops, which a lot of the men in this film have mutton chops. And one of the blonde girl is named Jane, and she wants to go to the jungle to see her father. But before that, she gets seduced by our main blonde girl. So, she gives her a massage. That goes on for way too long, as we cut between footage of just them walking around in Peru. I don't know why that's funny. I made Jane come several times. She really gotta... several times. Not once, not twice, multiple times. Throughout this film, we get the narration of what is going on, because, you know, it's a really hard movie to understand. It's kind of Lynchian. Oh, Tarzan just saw the boat. It's hard to miss, it's bright orange. And again, the main character mentions how they go on this expedition. For Jane, it's to find her father, and for the blonde girl and the blonde guy, it's for flowers? Until it isn't. Spoiler alert, they're a bunch of dirtbags. That's a lot of hair. Jesus Christ. Don't need to zoom up on that, thank you. And on the boat, they talk about this man, untouched by civilization. He's basically Tarzan. Oh, and she gone. Did you? She pressed the menu button. And that Tarzan connection is there throughout the entire film. Walt wouldn't be proud. Again, because this movie isn't racist enough.
About some form of jewels.
When they get to the island, they meet the jungle dude, who speaks fluently English, because he was American, and then he grew up in the jungle. He was explaining where he learned to speak English this well, and they just cut. And there they talk, and Jane asks for his father's information, and she learns that he is dead. And our main character, who's a bit of a psychopath, uses this as a way to get with Jungle Dude. She has no empathy, and as soon as they're done going to the grave, she's just like, hey, I want some action.
Oh, that expression in Jane's face was well worth the trip.
Bro, her dad just died. Don't think she's thinking about getting some. But our main character seduces Jungle Dude, and yeah, they have, you know, I guess being from the jungle means no coke, so his thing actually works. I forgot to mention, before they get to the father's grave, we meet another important character of the film, and that is our Jungle Dude's best friend, who just happens to be a monkey. Oh no, the monkey! It's the Bigfoot! My pet gorilla! And I hope you guys like Monkey, because there's a lot of monkeys in this film, especially during the naughty scenes, which for some reason the director really likes to cut to monkey weenie. Don't cut to monkey footage while this is happening, movie. Why did you go down and film the monkey's thing? This is supposed to be an adult film. I don't want to see that. Then after this, we learn the real reason why our blonde girl and our blonde guy are on the island. And that is to commit genocide. Yep, this movie got dark real fucking quick. Why stop going to this monkey's little red mushroom thingy? So they want gems from a tribe, so their plan is to poison said tribe, steal the gems, and then deal with Jane later. That's what we call in the business a colonial moment.
How many cigarettes have you got, lad?
Was that a fart? What happened? Is this a Phil Prince production? In between that, Jen and Jungle Dude have intercourse, and then we finally get to the tribespeople.
In the mouth and once in the pussy.
I live this like 70s super crass language, like.
He is a super fuck.
And at first, the tribespeople seem to be very friendly. They want to give them their gems, and they proceed to just fucking murder them anyway.
Bunch of savages living in misery with a fortune of precious stone.
You're planning on killing them, don't need to be racist on top of that. Which leads to me being kind of confused to the timeline of this film. There's no night shots, and after they poison the tribespeople, they just wake up, they're all dead, and then they wake up Jane, kidnap her, and then the helpers are back on screen. I don't know if they weren't there while, you know, the main characters were committing murder, but they just show back up. Why are we cutting back to this goddamn group thing? Isn't that over? I guess not. I guess they just needed to pad the goddamn runtime. Didn't have enough, you know, sexy time with the plan of genocide. But the poison didn't kill our jungle dude, and he's on his revenge arc. So he follows them around in the jungle, we get some more walking, some more talking, until he eventually pulls up and messes everything up. as per usual. He's kind of shitty at being sneaky, even though he's like a super light gymnast dude. Like, man, you gotta train better. And I hope they were safe on this shoot, because he's just running through water in the jungle, and from what I know from Cannibal Holocaust, that's probably not good water. It might be a bit infested. Both him and Jane get attached to trees, and then our main blonde character decides to commit cannibal ferox on him. So we got genocide, we got genital removal, a lot of gen. And they leave them dead. That's what they think. Until man's best friend, the goddamn monkey, shows up to save them from their death. The man's really nonchalant about not having his thing anymore. And then the movie gets weird. I mean, it was already kind of weird at this point. We had the monkey scene at the beginning. We also cut back to the group thingy throughout the entire film for some reason. I guess the film was getting unsexy with all that talk of genocide and murder. But then the movie just cuts to the same monkey from the beginning having his way with a different woman? Who is she? Who is she? And why is she doing this to the ape? Who are you? Ma'am! This one looks bigger than the last one. Is that a different ape? Why are there multiple apes? What didn't I understand in this motion picture? Is this movie really gonna end like that? Why did it cut to this? Why? And it's never explained until the ending, which, fuck this movie's ending. It's stupid. But yeah, why? We may never know. That's Carlos Tobalina's question to be answered. Is this monkey gonna get any, or it's just that random ape in the transition shots? And again, our jungle dude follows them through the jungle only to step on a branch, so of course the other people hear him and they shoot him. And then the lady once again finds the corpse because the monkey showed him, because the monkey is very, very magical, because monkey, I guess. Oh no, she's gonna see him dead even though he's still breathing. And then our main blonde character gets what's coming to her. She gets bitten by this very realistic snake. Hey, at least this isn't like, you know, Italian jungle movies where they would actually kill the animals, and that's some point I really like about this film. Because you see as the ending approaches, where the tribespeople and our jungle dude get together to shoot him with a needle kind of thingy, you know, you have a tube and then it catches our main villain, and you can see that the native peoples really had fun with this one, because any scene they're in, they're just smiling, having the time of their life, and they even get thanked in the credit, which is really wholesome, and it's also an example of ethical filmmaking. The Italians could never. So yeah, our main villain gets killed, and then we get to the final scene where our main character, the blonde girl, kind of wakes up in the middle of the group thingy, and then we realize that, oh, it was maybe a dream all along, and my light died. And then I was like, come on, movie, you really pulled that shit out at the end of this after all we witnessed? Ugh. Man. What a disappointing ending. Well, this was certainly a movie I saw. Now, excuse me, because I need to put socks on. It's cold, it's the middle of winter, and I need to grab a beer to process the entire thing I just witnessed. But yeah, Jungle Blue. Good movie, I guess? So, what are my thoughts on Jungle Blue? Again, I'm gonna have to censor this. It's not a good movie. I gotta be honest, it's overly long, it's really stupid, it's not as particularly exciting, it's shot very, like, standard, the audio is terrible, the music is there, the acting is god-awful, the sex scenes are good for what they are, but then the editing is weird, and we see stuff that isn't very sexy just thrown in there, which is just off-putting. And overall, I wouldn't really recommend this one unless you're like me, a sleazeball, slimy piece of shit who just really likes adult films from the 70s and whose mission is to review a whole bunch of them for some ungodly reason. My life is what it is.